Hey, Andrew Twelftree here. How you going? Now, today, guys, we're going to run through and give you a summary of the Andre 6-hour update, or 2019 update webinar. So there will be discussion, questions, answers, opinions. Okay, and you'll get some kind of clarity out of it. So what I'm going to do is run through what the meeting did. So first up, Mila came on and did the update of the news. Now, a couple of bullet points are the TNG tab. If you were a member before the crypto unit started, or you joined through the TNG link, it's only going to cost you $10 to open up the crypto unit closed club tab, and that will remain. So yay on that one. We had about 70,000 registrations in December, all right? There's some more numbers there. We are sitting on about 924,000 people within the new group of companies, all right, in the Crypto Unit Club. Now, that was on the 28th. We still have 3 days. They had a goal of hitting 1 million people by the end of December. That's still a chance. All right, we've still got a day and a half. We can get it up to 1 million people. How exciting would that be? Considering when this launched, on the stage 1, there was 12,000 people involved. We're up to nearly 1 million now. Giddy up. All right, now, of that, there are 12,349 consultants, 4,069 managers, 13,044 leader managers, 431 top managers, 160 vice presidents, and 71 presidents. How cool is that? Now, we've got a few of those on the call right today. And we've got a few more that are going to hit the top ranks too this year. Please give me one in the comments if you're going to start hitting the bigger ranks this year. Nobody? Or is anyone listening? No one's going to rank up this year. Really? I reckon there's going to be lots. All right.
Yeah, going to rank up, yes.
Now, then she proceeded to say that we have now 5 Sushi Master stores. Yesterday, the 100% franchise in Minsk, Belarus opened. That's within our portfolio. And we have 4 50-50 stores. So 50% us, 50% Sushi Master. So that's more than the 2 that we had before. So that's growing. Now, who saw also a couple of days back the Master Grill in Spain that opened? Right, that's kind of like a steakhouse. Right, and during the call, it was said that there would probably be a Burger Master, Vegan Master, Pizza Master, right, a whole different range of restaurants spread out across the globe that we are part owners of. Hello? Anyone awake? Yes. How exciting is that? All right. So we've had partners and friends over in Belarus go to the store. It's there. Woo! All right. Other news, the 200 free crypto unit sign-up bonus has been extended to the 15th of January. Go use that. Give them away. All right. Here's 200 crew, but the rule is you've got to come in the group and keep an eye on it. All right, give it away. Give away your free accounts, give them the 200 crew, put them in the group. Guess what's going to happen? They're going to go, holy cow, this is awesome, and start doing it. All right, use it, guys. Don't be shy to give away accounts. All right, also, the 2,000 crew for finding 2 people who spend $250. It's been extended to the 15th. So those free accounts You can say, hey, if you go and find 2 people before the 5th of January, you'll get 2,000 tokens for free. All right, and then another one, the 5,000 tokens for going consultant, which is 4 people wide who get 2 each. All right. Then Mila talked about, so that's awesome. Another couple of weeks on that. Talked about the $8,000 coin, and they reckon it's only going to be available till December. Well, we'll see on that one. They've got 300 of them left. So what she did talk about is that coin is 35 grams of 99.99% pure gold, minted into our Cryptounit memorial coin. Now, the significance of that, ultimately, Andre wants to have each token or coin backed by 35 grams of gold. 35 grams of gold at about $50 a gram is about $1,700 per token. Plus all the restaurants, you know, diamonds, real estate, blah, 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 all the other stuff in the portfolio. What are these tokens going to be worth in time? At least a couple of $1,000 bucks. Now, if you look in the back office times the amount of tokens you've got by 2,000 in 10 years' time, who's a happy person? Hello. All right. Is that going to happen tomorrow? No. Is it going to happen this year? No. But we will start to getting up there. All right. By as the schedule, which we'll explain later, these are expected to be $2 a token by the end of next year. But we'll be on the free market before that. Will the free market determine our tokens to be of more value than $2? There's a fair chance it might. Pretty excitable stuff. All right. There's been a couple of new payment options. There's one, Westpac Bank in Australia. All right, you can do bank deposits straight into that. Just a caveat, probably keep it under 10 grand or flags might get raised. If you do want to do more than that, just do it in 2 different lots. Visa in the CIS regions in Europe. There's been a new Visa option added. Mila then went on and showed us all the master profi dates and locations, and there were heaps of them all around the world. Right, so if there's a master profi course near you, go and do it. There's also a new 2-day first steps training course. Mila then announced that the October event will be in Moscow. That will be epic. Who's going to Moscow? We'll be arranging a week, 5-day tour beforehand to go around, look at all the castles, all the fancy stuff in Moscow. That event will be flawless. All right, mark that on the calendar, October next year. All right, and there will also be the usual top manager events after, and manager meetings probably on the 18th of October, the day before. All right, now, from my understanding, that'll be for consultants and above, because we've got a stadium for 20,000 people. How many consultants have we got? 12,349 and above, so 16, 17. We've got about 18,000 consultants as above right now. What about in October next year? We're going to have a lot. So, you know what that keeps? The riffraff. They're all people that have gone out and actually done something. We're not going to have people complaining over, anything. They're there for the thing. So chalk that up. All right, then we had a whole procession of presidential council members come out and share. Jamelia came out first. She's our first president, our mum, so to speak, came out and shared a whole lot of information. Then Dragos, I can't remember his last name. Stan something. all right, from Italy, came out, and he talked about mindset and removing limiting beliefs. All right, and man, that was very, very good. I'll give him that. Then we had Harinder or Harry Singh come out, and poor old Harry was a bit nervous, right? But he nailed it. He talked about dreams and dream realization. Then we had story time with Cam. She came out and basically shared a lot of photographs and things. Then Andrew Hawkes came out, and he was very short and concise. Very, very well done, Andrew. And he released the fact that our March/April function will be in Hanoi in Vietnam. That too will be epic. If you, I would be marking that down. It's in about 3 months' time. We will also do both either 1-day tours or 5-day tours, so you get a life experience about it. Now, Vietnam, once you're there, is cheap. All right, it'll cost you probably less than $100 a day. Like accommodation will be about $30. And if you can spend $70 in a day, you're doing very well. Right, you'll be doing shopping and all sorts of stuff. So you could get away with $50 to $60 a day, all right, going around doing a tour. So to have another $400 or $500 to make a life experience about it, absolutely would do that, guys. Because we did that. We had a busload of people. We had 16 people do a 5-day tour in India. Taj Mahal, elephant riding, you know, tiger safaris, all sorts of stuff. It was epic. We'll never forget it. All right, rather than go to the function, go home. All right, so we're going to be doing those options more, and especially in Vietnam. Everyone, get out their little magic pen and write down, as you can see on my whiteboard, it's backwards. I am going to Vietnam. Magic pen it. Write it down. You know what happens when you write stuff down, don't you? The universe conspires to make it come true for you.
Yes,
if you don't write it down, nothing will happen. All right? So then Dr. Lydia from India was going to come out. She had technical issues and couldn't. Amans then spoke about gratitude. Being grateful for what we have and the chance that we've been given. I am going to Vietnam, and I'll tell you what, Malik, we'll be doing the old high five, turning into a you know, old thumb handshake and hug. I'll tell you, it will be epic. New Panama. Now, can you put your name instead of New Panama? I'd rather see your name rather than that, if that's possible. It looks like, guys, that we will be able to buy and sell some of our tokens prior to that, if you need to. But only if you need to. I would find a way not to give these things away, because they're like giving away $1,000 bills for 50 cents. Like, seriously, guys. But we understand there are people in a spot that need an influx of 2, 3, 4, 10 grand. All right? And we're not going to begrudge people, mate, because I've been there. But I would find a way between now and then, you know, if you wanted to make several $1,000s, do this. All right? Get one of these list things here. Go out and do some work and earn the money. All right? By doing this, guys, the 20 people in 30 days, that will make you a 6-figure earner. I know, because I've done it in the past. That 13 days we talk about, all right, turned me into a multiple 6-figure earner this year. Imagine if you did that and became a multiple 6-figure earner. What if you did it again in March and again in June? Right, every quarter, you'll be a 7-figure earner. Trust me, right? This has come from Eric Worre, and I can testament the fact, if you do it at least once, you'll turn into a 6-figure earner. Now, Then Amman's released the fact that anyone who bought an education package in 2019, i.e. from stage 1 to stage 8.2, including the next 2 days. If you buy a package today or tomorrow, before New Year's Eve in Minsk, you'll get a 10% bonus on any tokens you received with that package. And then Amman's proceeded to give the example. If you bought an 8,000 pack in stage 1, you would have received 4,960,000 tokens. All right, add 10% of that is just shy of 500,000 tokens as a bonus. All right, I got one of them. Who else got one of those packs? So we just got handed another 500,000 tokens. Thank you very much. But it's not just that. It's people that have come in stage 7 and 8 and scrounged up 100,000 tokens. They're going to get another 10,000 just because. Thank you. When the token reaches $2 the end of next year, what's that going to be worth? That's a 20,000 plus gift. What about when they go further than that? Through 10, 50, 100, 500, $1,000. What is that's going to be worth? Insane, guys. All right, now, if you buy a package, as Malik just said, he said, if you buy a, oh, did you just message me on Messenger, Malik, on that one? Yeah, so if you buy a package today, you'll get the 10% bonus as well, paid on the 8th of October. All right, so talk about giving till it hurts. Thank you, Andre Harato. Okay. Then on my note, I kind of get confused where the notes go. You know that course they started in December, the 8 rules of private investor. All right, Andre's given us free access to that for the next 5 sessions, and they'll go back and allow you to access the recordings. Now, I actually put the link to register for that in the new High Speed Team, my Facebook group. If you're not in there yet, hello, Hoppy. Neil Morrison, I just spotted him down in the corner.
Trying to be incognito. I couldn't get away from it, eh?
No, you accidentally left your camera on, bro. Everyone welcome Neil Morrison, one of the presidents of our company and our esteemed upline. He actually sponsored Andrew Hawks. Go there. Okay? So we're an esteemed company. So we're just screaming through this again, Neil, and then we might get you out to share a bit of insight like we did last night, eh?
Well, we have to be careful with that. I mean, these calls aren't really scheduled to go for much more than half an hour, 3/4 an hour. Last night we went for 2.5 hours. So if you prepared to stay around that long, I don't know. Depends on what Andrew brings out of me. We'll see where we go.
We'll ring it out of you, mate. Don't worry. Yeah, but guys, we were on for 2.5 hours and no one left. All right, and then it was so it was really captivating. So, let's get to the meat and potatoes. Andre went through the portfolio. It is now worth $153,700,000 something dollars. That's up about $33 million from the last update. Hello? All right. And he went through each of the categories. Okay. In fact, if I can go and grab the photos, I'll see if I can grab the photos, guys. All right, he brought a few photos, and I'll just dig them out. This one here, he was talking about the resorts. You know how we say we got land in Phuket, Thailand, and the Crimea on the Black Sea. This is the Phuket, Thailand one. You can see, hey, I mean, all 5-star villas around there. This is within a kilometre of the beach, and they're probably going to have a skyway cable car running from there down to the beach. All right. If we try and, oh, hang on, so why is that? All right. Here's all the villas, floor plans. Okay. These are the ones, this is an image going in that little red area on the beach in the Crimea on the Black Sea. We're part owners of all this stuff, guys. How cool is that? All right. Here's the portfolio, 153,738,000 and change.
Mm.
All right. Look at the gold. There's a major part of it right now. We had 13.3 tonne of gold. We also have a heap. He started talking about C1 and C2 classifications, which is gold in the ground that we can dig out. They're planning ahead. So if I think, Neil, on that one, you had some insight that we can actually use the gold in the ground to back the coin.
I think so. I'm of the impression that that could back one of our crypto units that we go live with. We'll see what eventuates out of that in the next couple of months. But have you been through that that slide with the 1, 2, 3, 4 on it yet, Andrew?
We're about to get to it. Yeah.
Well, let's wait till we get to there.
We'll get to that and then we'll come back. Okay. So I'll share the screen again.
Yeah, but I guess you share the screen. But from my understanding, you know, I'm not sure if it's the combined effort of all the gold mines that we're associated with, but I think the total there is up around the 800 tonne mark, but which is a lot of it's still in, most of it's still in the ground, but they're in the process of getting the official verification. You know, the land surveys from all these guys that can officially tell you, yes, this is how much gold that there is in the ground here, and that allows them to plan out their, you know, their mining practices over the sort of next 10, 20 years. But 800 tonne, it's over 800 tonne of gold is what I think is being said. So to be mined, and actually you kind of look at the value of that sort of combining over the years to the value of each crypto unit. There's 80 billion crypto units. And if you imagine just 1 ounce of gold being associated with that, basically giving each one that just that one alone, it's insane numbers. You look at what the value of gold is right now. I think is it $1,600 an ounce or something?
Something like that, yeah. $50 a gram or thereabouts, yeah. It's insane.
Do you think about that in our global portfolio? Then just one segment there, and if it's gold over, you know, as long as it takes them to dig it out, but you're going to see that gradual increase in value. And our capitalization of our portfolio is 100 trillion. So if you kind of think about that, that gives each crypto unit a value of $1,250. So if we've got, as that gold is extracted out of the ground, that's going to gradually increase the value of your crypto unit.
All the time.
I don't know, it's just something to look forward to as we go. We're not buying it, we're extracting it even more. It's exciting. That's just one small snippet of our portfolio.
Yeah, one little bit, never alone the basalt and all the other stuff.
Yeah.
Now, this is the slide that Neil's talking about. So January, they're actually going to, will be entered onto the register, and our transactions will be publicly visible. Right? We are currently with 2, maybe, I know it's at least 2 third-party financial audit companies are running through our portfolio as we're speaking. Right? So it will be publicly visible. But later on, he did say that the balance sheet would be available for those who've spent more than $5,000 in the portfolio. So, but I'm sure, I mean, many of us already have spent more than 5,000. We could probably have an over-the-shoulder look, as long as it doesn't get out into the public stuff. But the balance sheet will be available for everyone to see, guys. Right?
Yeah.
Fully transferable.
As Andre described that, I'm pretty sure it was Andre. You know, he talks about there's a lot of people out there that ask a lot of questions, and they're really some of them are valid, I suppose. But when you compare some of the other financial institutes around the world, where us, you know, private individuals can go and put money in an investment through those companies. You know, we have to have a certain, well, like a minimum amount, and it could be over 10,000 or might even be higher, invested within that company before they allow us to look at their financials and see, so we can see where all the money is. So what we have here, in our case, Andre's saying, yes, everybody can have a look at our financials, and we've got the process, a regular process going to happen with that. But you have to have a minimum of 5,500 invested within our education program before you get a look at that. So anything under that, well, then you haven't invested enough to qualify to see the financial audit at the end of the day. But I think that's a really positive step, and I'm sure people that have purchased packages in sort of an excess of that probably have a few family members in that who are involved with that as well, so they would be able to share that with them. But ideally, it would be sort of private information just shared with you from company to customer. So, but that's exciting. You know, we've never seen that before, especially if you're growing, you know, a structure and you've got some people that are a little bit more financially savvy and ask some questions, then you can kind of put this in front of them and get some validity, show the validity of everything that we're doing. So that's really, really positive. It's a great step in the right direction. Especially when we're live, you're just going to have so many more people wanting to know, wow, how do I get into this? Show me more validity of what this is all about. So lots of exciting stuff coming and being opened up to and moving forward. So exciting stuff.
Right. Well, here's my takeaway. We've had people sitting on their hands waiting for proof that this is real. Right. In January, we're going to receive that. Are you going to sit on their hands for another 30 days, or are you going to take the bull by the horns and get going right now and take advantage of the wave of wealth transfer that's going to occur in 2020? All right. So we are going to get the proof we need to shut all the naysayers up. There's going to be a lot of people eating their words, I guarantee you, this year, I tell you. Right, now from February onwards, all right, now it's been said that there's looking to have February, March sort of region an internal exchange. All right, now the official date wasn't given. It says February to May on the list there. But it says there'll be a closed exchange for people to sell their tokens if they need to. And there will be a number of tokens unfrozen, so you won't be able to just sell all of them. Okay? So, guys, as I said, I wouldn't be giving them away too easily, because if you sell them for 50 cents or $1 and they go to $1,000 a pop, you're going to kind of regret that decision, aren't you? So like Neil said, or like I said before, I don't know if you were on when I said it, Neil. See this here? See all those names ready to be filled in there? That's the 20 and 30 ready to go. You want to make some money? Go do that, rather than sell tokens at a fraction of what they're going to be worth. What's your views on that?
You know, like I've done pretty well accumulating a considerable amount of tokens, and I don't believe that I need to tap in and sell off any of those. And, you know, if I were to do that and get carried away, it was just totally irresponsible for my family's future. And, you know, this is generational wealth that we're talking about here, is that's what you're selling off at the end of the day. But when you know from your heart just what this is and where it's going, then you know, with me, I've never needed to touch anything out of there, and I don't plan on touching anything out of there because my structure's growing by itself. That I'm actually able to live off the income from the structure, and that in itself is mind blowing. I'm going to introduce you to my granddaughter. She's here.
Hello.
Yeah, so say hello, Aria. They say hello.
Hello.
So this is Aria. She's my little well, she's still. So what does Papa do? What do I do? What do you say? Skyway?
He's a skyway.
Yeah. Well, I haven't taught her new yet, but we're working on that part. It's a big sort of step in that direction. But you know, here's why I do this. This little girl here, you know, she has no real clue on what. Oh, here's my grandson that's popped up here as well. That's Julius and Aria. Now, this time next year, if all goes according to plan, these are they're all partners. Now, I've set up their financial futures. They're never ever going to have to worry about a cent where money comes from. That's what this is all about. This is their future generation. The issue I have right now is educating them to take over my portfolio when I'm finished. Because my portfolio, when I'm done, is probably going to be a multi-billion-dollar portfolio, which these kids, when I'm finished with it and when their mother's finished with it, that they're going to inherit and just carry on down the train. This is kind of some of the big stuff, kind of chimes in beautifully really with what we're just talking about. And you know, why would you sell out these kids' future? Just no way, no need to do that. We have right now, and the bigger growth of this here, I'm not sure if Andrew's talked about us getting to the million partnership mark by the end of this year. We're not far off there. I'm not sure he's thrown those figures around, but middle of the year or sometime this year, we're going to hit 5 million people in the structure in our organization. Now, how many of those, if you look at your structure now, if you look at us going live on the markets, how many have you got in your structure now? How many people have been watching you? How many new people are going to want to come and get involved in what we're doing? You know, there's going to be some want to build a business. There's going to be some want to change their financial futures. But, you know, I've seen the growth in my structure since we launched the crypto unit, and it is an increase of, I would say, 5,000%. I started in March with probably around the 5,000 mark in my structure. And I did pretty well financially out of that. But now here we are, we're still in the same year, and I've got over 30,000 people in my structure. 30,000. Now, do you think I've gone and seen 30,000 people? No way. I don't have time to do all that. But where's this going as we move through to our next phase of excitement, which is the launch. We're in the brand new launch phase of phase 2, stage 1, and we're going to be live on the open markets. Like, are you guys ready for this?
Mm-hmm.
Do you know what's coming? Oh my God, you can go into your back office. You can go on statistics. If you just go to the left-hand sidebar, you'll see partner accruals. And go and look in there and add up how much money you've actually earned since you've been involved or since you've been with the CRU. And whatever that number is, you can at least triple that, if not more, for 2020. It's mind-blowing. This is what's going to happen. It's coming, whether you like it or not, whether you're ready. Get yourselves ready. But we're just getting started, folks. If we hit 5 million, once we hit 5 million, how many of those are going to be in your structure? Do you think we're going to stop at 5 million? No, we've got a bigger mission than that. We're not going to change the world with 5 million. We're going to introduce the new economic evolution of the world. We need to continue. So whatever the size of your structure is now, you know, if I look at mine, and like mine's small compared to the likes of Aman's and those sorts of things, it's tiny. But it's like we are just literally getting started.
Well, mine's 10 times since the launch as well, and more. It's actually way more than 10 times already from when I started in March.
I have seen an uptake since the Andre's webinar, and as people are getting up to speed with the information that's been released, I've seen an uptake where we kind of took that dive in October because people didn't truly understand how it was functioning, how we were working, and sort of felt a little bit felt down on where we were going. But I've seen now where people have a clearer vision of what it is. My everything has taken a turn. It's now going back up. And
Well, this week, I know yours is going up by at least 100 a day because mine is, Neil. 100 people a day are registering, with or without me. All right, and look, a lot of that's to do with you guys, and everyone's involved in expanding there. But guys, teams are exploding right now, and now that we've got this verification that it's the real deal, but we all knew anyway. But now it's going to be on a register, and there's going to be a balance sheet. You can say, well, look, there it is. People won't be able to say this is a scam anymore because you can say, there it is. All right.
What I've experienced up till this point, and in a pre-IPO scenario, which is what we've been, pre-ICO or pre-STO, wherein it, like, and no disrespect to any of you guys in the way that I describe this, but it's like we're dealing with a lot of nickels and dimes type people. And now, and once we are live and in the real world, so to speak, you're going to start experiencing people that real investors, although we sell education, don't forget we sell education, but we're going to have experienced people with real money and starting to throw real money at this because they can see it's live on the exchanges and where it's going. They can see the companies. We've got our financial auditing happening on a regular basis. So you're going to start seeing bigger amounts of money coming in because of its validity, because of what we have. Whereas we haven't been able to show that up to this point. It's just been it's been us and a few slides and bits and pieces. So you know, we're about to open up and tap into a totally different world. It's well, our customer base is just expanding to another level, and you guys, as you tap into that, wow, you know, even with the numbers that I have, and let me tell you a story about Andrew Hawkes and I. We went around and we were doing the Master Profit courses throughout Australia and New Zealand. So we were coaching the courses, and we were over in Perth. And at that point, I was still actually above Andrew, and he was below me. So I don't think he's above me now. I don't think that'll change. But I had a structure, I think, then of about 1,500 people, and Andrew had a structure of 300. But yet he was there in a teaching capacity as a manager. And I said to him, you need to let the people, show the people how many you have in the structure. And the reason behind that is that so that people would know that they can be successful in this and not have to build a massive, massive team to be successful and be able to rank up through our systems. And it just when he didn't want to do that because he felt like he wasn't he hadn't kind of earned that rank because the structure was so small. But it wasn't about him, it was about the people realizing they can get that and not have to build a massive, massive team. And, you know, that's what you can do moving forwards as we go into this new phase. You can have a small team, but it can be very, very lucrative for us. And that's ultimately, at the end of the day, that's what we want. We want to have more than enough money coming in, you know, well, more that extra amount of money coming in where you can pay the power bill, you can get all the debt bills out, you know, the credit card bills out the way, all those sorts of things. If you just start working on that, it's going to just grow and grow and grow and grow. You know, does everybody here know I've just had a hip replacement? So I've had hip surgery, so that's why I'm in my bed here. I'm on crutches for 6 weeks. But it was really, really, if you knew my story, and maybe I'll share more of it later on, not today, because I'm aware of your time. But
I'm sure they'd want to hear it, Neil.
Excuse excuse me. Are you going to have a Q&A, question and answer on this call?
Yeah, later on. We're kind of having an open discussion, so we'll do questions as we work through, yeah. So just type them in the chat and we'll address them. Type them in, if you can't.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, you have to chat. Well, see, I'm on the phone. phone.
All right, we'll let Neil finish and we'll come back to you, buddy. We'll just stick your hand up and I'll come back to you.
Just let me finish my story and we'll come back to you. The problem with me is when I get talking, I get all excited. And sorry about that. The story I wanted to tell you there is that when you go in and you have to sign your life away with these when they're cutting you open for major surgery, they tell you all the, but it's like, well, do you need an ACC form, which is our government policy? Do you need a doctor's note? And I'm going, no, I don't need any of that. I'm fine. I'm set. I don't need to rely on any government agencies to pay me during this surgery. Now, you take me back 12 months ago, I was reliant on the government. You know, they were paying my rent. This business has taken me, and I've never done anything else that's compared with this in the past. And it just blows my mind. You know, 2 days before surgery, we moved into, I don't own it. I'd like to own it, but it's a rental property. My view is just looking out over the water right now. So I don't have to work for a job. We've moved into a beautiful twice the rental we were paying on the last place, and I'm secure. And I had, before doing that, I had to have faith in what we're doing and this whole organization, that coming through January, February, March, is that's still going to roll in and allow me to have, have the lifestyle that I always dreamed about for me and my family. It's no different for any other of you guys. Just it might not happen like tomorrow, but when you start working and doing this, I think it's going to happen quicker than any other organization that you've ever been in. I'll stop now because I know there's a couple of questions. So fire away.
Look, that story is pretty common. Like from a place of tragedy, I don't know, what would you call it? A low place to freedom and choices. And look, we've had so many people within the team do that. So what we might do is actually get the question on the phone out the way, because he can't type it in the chat. So 653, you were going to ask a question.
Yes, I have a question. My name is Ron from California. I wanted to ask you, is the credit card working to deposit, to make a deposit?
It depends where you are in the world. Now, if you're in Australia and New Zealand, Australia or the USA, it's a bit hit and miss. So what we would suggest is speak to your upline. The best way to do it is to use Bitcoin or Ethereum, because they don't argue. Right? They just make a transaction. If you can't do that, then a bank wire is probably the next best option. Or it depends on how much you need. You can buy the credits off of your upline, and they can just transfer them into your account if you hand them the cash or send them a bank wire. So there are options to get around it, because banks these days, they think your money is theirs. You go to send it anywhere and they go, hang on, no, you're not allowed to spend your money on anything. And they start blocking accounts and things. So merchants' accounts are great if you're turning over thousands, but when you start turning over $20 million like we did, merchant accounts start to get frozen and things. So it's the banks trying to control people and their money. By the way, just on that, yes.
Okay, so you're saying the best thing for USA is Bitcoin, correct?
Absolutely, yep.
Okay.
And you get a 10% discount. So you go to add $1,000, they'll charge you $900.
Okay, I have a few people on the call, so you can unmute and ask your questions, okay? All right, awesome. Thanks so much. Thanks so much for answering my question.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
So, guys, if you're on the computer, just type them in the chat, because then we can get to them along the way. All right, so are we going to get dividends in April, or we're going to get loyalty bonuses and or bonus profit every month? Now, It depends on the turnover, and it also is determined by how much profit we have within our portfolio in the liquid assets side of it. Okay, so they will vary.
So let's bring that into perspective and so dividends. So understanding. So we're not going to use the word dividends. If you actually go and look at the legalities of that wording, it actually puts us. It could bring us under the microscope if there was another an official organisation scrutinising us. So the word profit bonus is actually the correct terminology to use when it comes to making a payment off of our through our portfolio. So that's why we're using that, and so we don't need to use the word dividend. Now let's move on and talk about our loyalty bonus. And so now that comes off of the work that we do and basically helping other people change their financial futures with our education packages. Now, we know that 10% of everything that's earned through each stage comes back into the loyalty program. Now, if you look at how hot we were running pre-October, we were doing over 25 million a month, I think, for the 3 months prior to that. So 10% of that was, let's say 10% of that was 2.5 million, which was divided amongst the crypto units that had already been sold. So now here we are, we're moving into the next phase. We were on the open market. We're starting to sell at the real value of our crypto unit. Now, when you look at the slide that Andre did, I think it's a couple of weeks ago now, and it shows the 10 stages rolling out over the 10 months and the beginning value, which if we, I think it said 0.15, but we actually did this on last night's call. If you actually just say 10 cents that people are purchasing at each, so we're now entering into the next phase 2 of the rollout. So we're in stage 1 or phase 2, stage 1. And we're going to release in this phase 2 another 20 billion tokens. 20 billion. So we're not going to release them all in one go because that's just flooding the market. That's just stupid. So each stage they'll be released at 2 billion at a time. Now, and so the first 2 billion. Well, let's say they go for 10 cents. We're not going to know the actual figure until we get our audited report back of our whole portfolio in the company. Now, so if we say 10 cents, so you go 2 billion times 10 cents, somebody give me a figure. I think what we worked it out last night was 200 million.
200 million.
Right. So then you go 200 million, 10% of that is 20 million. All right. You start to get the difference between loyalty payments stage 1 or phase 1 and the difference between loyalty payments stage 2. It's 10 times greater. And that's
I was about to say, guys, 10 times the loyalty bonus that you would have got in September, October. That's what we're talking. That's what Neil just described.
So when you think about that and you think about your structure growing and the growth that's coming in off of that, like that is income that will start changing people's lives. So what we're going to have and what we've always had, you're going to have people that can come in exactly the same. They'll purchase a package. They'll get their first loyalty payment the following month. You'll get a bonus payment. You'll get your loyalty payment the next month. You'll also get an accrual of CRUs, and then if you think about 200 million. 20 million goes in, which leaves 180 million to reinvest back into our portfolio. So then what happens? So then the value of the crypto unit increases. So you're just like, you're winning on every account here. There's nothing going backwards. What you're going to see is the real world, well, the everyday growth of your crypto unit in the real world. And you're going to watch now the beginning of the real asset value, the asset increase. So we're working towards $100 trillion capitalization. Now, so right now we start at 10 cents. So if you look at how many crypto units times 10 cents, that's your asset value. But as we increase over throughout this year, by the time we get to, if you look at that slide in December, it's going to be, it's planned to be at $2. So you're starting to see the real everyday growth of your asset. Not only, so that's an asset which you own, you co-own of the global portfolio, you own that asset, as well as you're getting loyalty bonus off the sales from that. You're getting also a I've forgotten the word. Your bonus profit payment and the asset growth. It's like those three things there. It's like, bang, we're on our way. On our way.
Unmute yourself and say it again. We need to drop back in and finish off this slide here. All right. So, because Beth has just asked a question, I'm still a bit confused. So, we'll be on the blockchain, all right, and you'll be able to see all our transactions and all that in January. February through May, we'll have an internal exchange. Now, I'm under the impression he's going to try and get it done by March, but it doesn't officially say that there, but there will be an internal exchange where you can buy and sell tokens if you need to. And this is where we got off on a bit of a sidetrack, all right? We were saying you shouldn't want to try and give them away because you're giving away $1,000 bills, okay? June, August, they'll be entering the crypto exchanges, all right? We are going to have our World CRU, which will be a derivative, what do they say? Derivative instrument. It'll be like a futures contract. That's where we can hit the NASDAQ and different exchanges around the world with that instrument. Now, a futures contract cannot be worth less than the underlying asset. So as Neil was just describing, the asset is going to be forever growing because our portfolio is growing in value. It won't go backwards. So will the asset. So we'll be able to buy, sell, trade all over the world. We'll launch our UG Pay online bank wrapped around our loyalty program with Shikard. Genie Pay will be mixed in there, which will be a global payment solution. And our unit, as you see it today, you'll be able to, the days of struggling to have your merchant facilities or credit cards to be used will be over because, the unit will be used to pay for a designer dress in a shop in Singapore, a coffee in Milan, or a steak in Spain, at the new restaurant there. All right, so we won't have the issues we're having today. Sorry, Neil.
Let's just explain that that stable coin a little more for everybody.
Yep.
So on that part of the slide, in it says WCRU stable coin. So it is there's in the crypto, the blockchain market. But if you look at Bitcoin and Ethereum and those in the open market, there's nothing backing those. So it's a very, very volatile market. Hang on, somebody's getting and so it keeps a lot of big players out not wanting to come and get involved with it because it's so volatile. There's too much, it can increase or decrease $20 to $30 within the space of half an hour. So, and if you think of those coins, there's nothing backing them. There's nothing tangible backing them. So the stable coin market, which is what he's written it down there. So we're obviously looking at to move into that market. Stable coin is like it means it's stable. It doesn't have the fluctuation that Bitcoin and Ethereum, some of those other ones do. So when you're able to provide a coin in that market, then you're actually opening up to a whole different realm of people that want to get involved because they're looking for stability. Not it's less of a risk, I suppose, at the end of the day when you're talking about investments. They don't want this high volatility with their income. So that's what we've got with the stablecoin. Really, really exciting. And I don't think that they're looking at putting the whole of the portfolio in there, but this may be one of our assets as the product that backs up what it's all about. So I won't talk too much into that. I'll let Andre release that in the coming months. There's going to be a lot of high energy points, which is going to allow us to leverage off throughout this year. When I say high energy points, is that ability to create excitement that people want to come and get involved with, which works all towards building our structures and having people come and get involved.
Awesome, Neil. Thanks for clarifying a lot of that. Now, coming on towards the end of next year, they're going to have free circulation of our unit, our crypto unit, and the world crypto unit derivative products on all the markets. All right. Now, mining. Who's heard of Bitcoin mining? Right. You need some kind of giant solar panel and to build it on Antarctica to make it even worthwhile doing these days because it's so expensive. We plan on having 100,000 nodes in households around the world. I'm going to be one of them. Neil's going to be another. I'm sure one each will be in the kids' names as well. With you there, Neil, the grandkids. Who'd want to have mining sitting there grinding away, generating crypto units along the way as well? Absolutely exciting times coming, guys.
Yeah.
Do we know how much the nodes are going to cost?
Not certain yet, no. Unless Neil knows.
They're like $1 million. Is it?
No, nothing like that. Nothing like that.
No, it'll be a little box you can plug in and hook to your internet at home. That's all it'll be. So it'll be a few dollars, a few $100 or whatever it's going to be.
It's this point last night that Leon Ferreira came in and gave a great explanation of the nodes and how they represent, what they do. But to give you an example, like the Bitcoin blockchain and how the Bitcoin blockchain functions, I think they have about 13,000 nodes. So these nodes are those little like bank on the corner components that create your confirmation, get your confirmation from all your transactions. So if you think about us building our own blockchain and having 100,000 nodes, that would make us the biggest blockchain on the planet. We would be the biggest blockchain. And so with 100,000 nodes makes our system pretty more efficient.
Yep.
And
unbreachable.
Not only
because what Leon did explain as well, Neil, is the fact that because Bitcoin mining is so expensive these days, a lot of the mum and dad people who had, a couple of units in their basement grinding away mining Bitcoin have switched them off. It's just not profitable to do so. So we're a little bit at the mercy with Bitcoin, for example, just hypothetically speaking, guys, where you've got the big conglomerates that do most of the mining in like Iceland, in big, solar powered places where they don't have to spend money for cooling, right, that have control of most of the mining. If someone was a bit untoward, they could do a 51% attack on Bitcoin. It's just out there. But with 100,000 nodes, won't happen.
Do we know the lifetime of a node?
I guess it depends on the on the speed of the technology adaptation or improved technology to make things go faster. Let's not talk too much into the quality and what's going on with the node right now. We're probably still a bit away from confirming and going down that track. But another thing Leon said last night too was that is being a decentralized platform, which is giving people that security when, to be able to use our blockchain is decentralized. And with the current, these big mining farms up in Iceland and around the world, basically you've got, there's a lot of nodes held within those. So the current situation almost gives those organizations the ability to not be as decentralized as we'd like them to be. So, certainly having our own blockchain with 100,000 nodes around the world certainly makes us more attractive on the global scene for not only ourselves, but for other customers wanting to come and get involved in such a great platform, especially one that will give them the ability to transact as well, and much faster than some of the current blockchains. So yeah, really, really exciting sort of moving forwards with that. We were sort of put out a questionnaire, and I certainly voted for having our own blockchain. Moving forwards, you know, even if it sort of held us up a month or two, it would be worth it for the long-term, you know, gains that will come from that. So yeah, really exciting in that department. Did we talk about the Shikard card yet, Andrew?
Briefly, if you want to expand on that, go for it, mate. This is
Well,
we did mention the talk of April, mid-year would be the time frame when that's going to come around, I believe.
If you think about the Shikard card, and we've had a lot of conversation about the Shikard, but the thing is, and as I sort of said yesterday, I mean, we all started this buying into Skyway. Great transport technology and really, really exciting. So we can all talk Skyway to the cows come home. We know what that's all about. But as we've expanded our portfolio, all these new wonderful assets that we're acquiring, you know, we don't know enough to explain all the intricacies of the Shikard card, of the basalt, you know, of the diamond mining. We're starting to learn more about our sushi masters, but the Shikard card is going to be a really, really exciting addition to us as individuals. And if you think about anywhere that you have coffee or that you transact on a regular basis, you can there'll be, I think there could possibly be a way that they can actually become part of the Shikard system. They can actually have get a node, and so they're starting to earn money straight away off the node, and they'll be able to incentivize all their customers to become part of their system. If you think about that moving forwards, if you get one of those customers in your structure and they get excited about it, start making money, and all their customers come in, guess what? They're going to
They're all in your structure.
Oh,
Hello. All right,
plus-
that's huge.
Plus all the added benefits of that, and Sushi Master have already said that they're going to align themselves with that card. So just all the discounts and everything else that comes with that. It's what you're starting to see is the rollout of the new economic revolution of the world as more and more stuff comes to light. So also linked in with that Shikard card is going to be the Genie Pay. That's going to be linked in there. And it also allows to remember we still own a banking system, so there's all that intricacy that lines itself up and comes into play that allows us to transact fiat and cryptocurrencies in a seamless system, all integrated. And with the Shikard card also, I think it has like a points structure in the back end of that as well. That point structure will end up probably being a CRU point system. So really, really exciting. So as all this stuff starts coming in alignment and moving forward, so when you start seeing the Shikard card, we're going to need to have more training and get more education on that. I mean, I'm really only just coming off the top of what I've heard along the way. But when that's implemented, it's really going to be an acceleration tool across our whole system that you guys can tap into. It's like, you know, you can go and have a coffee at one of the chain stores that you're co-owner of, and you can sit down and say, we're having a discounted coffee here and I'm getting paid to be here. It's like, you know, you want to come and be a part of what I do, let's go and have coffee somewhere else. You know, and there's so many other benefits that will come from that. So when we get more training on that, that will obviously come out when we get closer to the time of that launching. And I think the dates on that were kind of mid-year, I think, wasn't it, Andrew? Mid-year sometime?
Yeah. Somewhere April, June, you know, onwards, yeah.
So I think around that, when you really see that acceleration, you know, I the way that my back office has gone off over the last 24 hours, I suspect that we're going to almost hit the million mark before the end of this year. Now, with that, and I say mid-year when we start going with the Shikard card and implementing these other bits and pieces, we're going to be around that 5 million mark at some point this year. That's a huge, huge opportunity for you guys to capitalize on that. Just how many of those 5 million do you want in your structures? And knowing the income that comes off of that, mind-blowing.
Huge. Like
Yeah.
now that it's going to be, well, you know, when they get the balance sheets and all that in January, right, and visible on the blockchain, it's undeniable. That's what some people have been waiting for. Is this real? Now we can say, there it is. It's real. Let's go.
There's some real high points still to come that haven't even been mentioned this year.
Mm-hmm.
Have not even been mentioned.
Clue? Or we can't. No, we can't. It's recorded. But
no, well, I think if you know, it came up later on, and I think we talked about the naming, you know, all the name change and the confusion around there is where that came about. I'm not sure if we've got that far through where that part of the discussion came up last night, Andrew. Did we?
I think we did, about the innovative transport technology and what the deals were going on there.
Well, I guess there's been a lot of confusion over the last couple of months with all the changes. And if you look at most of the businesses that we've all been in before and failed in, they've all probably had similar trademarks of, they didn't meet this date. They've changed the name. The payments are slowing down. You know, all these sorts of things are similar traits to these old systems we've been involved with. That's in that signal of where it's trying to go backwards or the end. First and foremost, got their microphone on, probably turned it off. But explaining our pathway and where we've gone. So I guess the first thing is like we came out. It's like we can't talk about Skyway anymore. We're not allowed to use that name anymore. It's like, oh, what's going on there? So you need to understand that it was actually N.E.W that asked us to stop using the Skyway name. Now you need to understand why. So we, the people, have raised, and us through the new company is what we're calling ourselves now, have raised over 150 million, which has helped N.E.W build Ecotechno Park and attract the right sort of people in there that go, wow. So yes, this works really good here in these cold temperatures. That demonstrate to us that it can work in the other extremities up in the UAE. So goes up there, and we've helped fund them up there as well, and now built and demonstrated the technology up there in the extremities. So it can be built anywhere around the world. So in that initial coming together between us two, basically it was N.E.W a business and us the customer that created a system that allowed him to fund Ecotechno Park and his mission. So now we've got him to a point where he's now got serious players on board, and it's now business to business. So he doesn't need you or I putting silly posts and incorrect posts on social media that could jeopardize the future growth of what we're doing. So we've done a massive job in the last 4 to 5 years, of helping him build his ship. And now he's basically got it in the water now. He's got so many people there. He's about to probably hit that champagne bottle on the knob of it and then send it off sailing. So it's for us now to just sort of stand on the shore now and wave goodbye and success for that journey that he's on. So when you understand that, and I don't know, my analogy kind of, hopefully it makes sense, but so that's why he's asked us that we don't, just to stop what we're doing. It wasn't just us, it was the other people that were doing that. Now, we have provided a lot of money for the closing stages. So Andre did put a letter together, and I think you might be aware there was a contingency went up there to Belarus and had a meeting with Andre to sort of look at, we've put more than enough money in to move this next stage, sort of what's going on. So Andre's actually under a non-disclosure with N.E.W. And that's really all I can say. Well, that's all I know, because that's where it's at. So that means to me that there's, well, let me just say, just read the tea leaves. Read the tea leaves. If you're any good at reading tea leaves, now's a good time.
Something's going down in a good way.
In a good way. And so just moving forwards, and I thought he might have mentioned something in the webinar, but there was no need. Well, he's not going to jeopardize his commitment to N.E.W. With his non-disclosure. So when you make that stuff, there's you're not allowed to talk about what's going on or what you've been exposed to, yeah, you just move on. So and I guess that's sort of the same here too. Just see the bigger vision of where that's going, which is really, really exciting. And could be another great point to happen at some stage, maybe throughout the year. You just never know. Now, then we went from, no Skyway. Then we started using Swig, and which still had Skyway Invest Group. It's like, no, that's not going to work. It still has that link, and there still was a lot of negative press around the Skyway, and we know it's all people misquoted and lack of information and doing their homework. You know, here down in New Zealand, I have a whole government department that still can't get it right. Well, I guess we just deal with that. It doesn't slow me down. I know what's right, and certainly I'm not going to do anything that's wrong. So we moved away from Swig, and then that's when everybody started using NEW Economic Evolution of the World. Now, if you think about what we're doing as an organization, we have a massive, massive vision, and we don't want that vision to upset, I guess, or to alert some of the powers that be on the bigger scale of this planet to scrutinize even closer what we're doing. So keep the NEW Economic Evolution for special occasions, which is i.e. our birthday time of the year in October, where we will promote that. But what it does is and it doesn't mean that you can't use it within the presentation, but just briefly, but you don't advertise your event or your presentation, your webinar, whatever that you're doing, starting with the NEW Economic Evolution with the NEW. But you can use the likes of come and learn the 8 rules of the private investor, come along and learn Genius of Finance, learn the art of investing without losing any money. So that it opens us up to actually expand our own mindset on how we actually advertise what it is that we do. And ultimately, what it is that we do is we sell our education. Our education is our core product. That's what it is. That, you know, the amount of money, if you just look at what you've got there and you times that just by 1,000, and then you have a regular income coming in, if you don't know how to manage that and how to make that grow, you really just become a glorified a lotto winner. And we know what happens to them. They lose their money quicker than they can spend it. It's just ridiculous. So we need to have that education. As we go forwards into releasing our NEW Economic Evolution of the World platform, we're going to need everybody to know what's going on, how to function within it, and how to continue to make it grow. So, yeah, get those packages. The beauty right now is he's actually doing a whole 8 rules of private investor in the series over the coming weeks and months.
We talk a lot about this as well, Neil, that as you're marketing on social media, to brand yourself and not the company anyway, right? Because people don't buy a company or a business, they buy you as a leader that can take them to the land of freedom and choices, right? So that's what you should be promoting, is you as the leader. So if you've got Skyway or NEW or all that plastered all over your Facebook, you're going to get Google bombed, right? Do you know what I mean by that? Where they go, oh, what's this new thing? I'll go search that. Guess what they're going to find? One of my videos or one of Andrew's videos. And guess what? If they don't tell me they were referred to it, you're going to lose people, right? So promote you as the leader. All right, so
Yeah.
use curiosity approaches so that you have a conversation with people before you go to give them the information, because then reciprocity says they're going to join you then if you've had a conversation with them. All right, so yeah, to go along with that as well. Now, we've got quite a few questions we need to catch up on, Neil, so we'll come back and probably not the right time to be. Thank you. Now, Luba has asked the question, has the 10-month $1,000 installment plan moved up to 17,000 tokens? Now, I think it always was 17,000 tokens, and you've got until the 5th of January, until we go on the blockchain, you can do payment plans. But to lock in 17,000 tokens for that payment plan, you've got until the 5th of January. You've got extended. The next yes,
on that though, and I'm not sure, you might correct me, but when you go to make a purchase, can you go do a standard or a partner purchase? Is that available still there? And
no, there's an installment plan that got installed in December. You can go to on the menu on the left. You've got stage 8.2 installment plans, and there's like you can buy a $1,000 pack over 10 months, and there's several packs you can buy over 10 months. Lock them in, guys. You keep the discount. Yeah,
the reason I asked that question, and I should have already known the answer. Sorry about that, but in the Transnet Group back office, there's the option to buy a standard or a partner pack, and the standard, and there's a difference in the amount of Skyway units that you can actually purchase through there. And I was just wondering if that maybe what you experienced.
Don't think there is a partner pack in the crypto unit side. No, it's standard or installment packages. All right. For the old Skyway ones, guys, you could do a partner one where you could use your commissions to buy packages and get a 10% bonus on the number of equity shares that you received as a bonus. All right, but I don't think that's available on the crypto unit, or I'm not aware of it. All right, so I hope that answers that one, Labor. How is that bot coming along to promote this? Why? I don't know why you'd need a bot. Just talk to people. Right? Have a conversation with someone. That's how you sign people up, guys. You don't need a robot or any magical, lead capture page. That's getting lazy, guys. Talk to people. People want to interact.
I'll tell you right now we've got that 200 free crypto. I mean, if you love your family at any level, just ring them up, get their details, and give them the 200 crypto units. So the value of that in the coming years, I mean, I think, what is it? Just that $1,000 in the next
Jasmine
4 to 8. It's a $200,000 gift. A gift. I can't believe what they're giving away.
Just on that, Neil. Look at this. This is little Jasmine. She's Cherry May's niece. She owns 200 CRU.
Yeah.
And how old are you? How old? 6?
No.
5? How old are you? 7. She's bigger than I thought. 7 years old, 200 CRU. What's that going to be worth in years to come?
I've got a guy that that's waiting for me to ring him back. He's just waiting for me to help him set up his whole family on the free CRU. So we'll get a gift for Christmas. When you actually think about if you just that gift alone,
you need to
and then we go live, and if you look at who you're gifting that to, and you keep them up to date with what's happening, and they might actually decide to do their own personal purchase, which you can guide them through as well. But it's like
give the accounts away, guys, and put them in the groups so they can see the information, and sooner or later they may well wake up.
Is everybody here aware? Is everybody here aware that we just gave you, or the company just gave you, a 10% on anything that you've purchased this year, that you've personally purchased? 10%.
Yes.
It's
insane.
If you've got 1 million crypto units, they've just given you, or they're in the process of giving you between now and the 8th of January, another 100,000, another 10% on anything that you've personally purchased in the whole of the year. So it's like, you know, even if you've got 500,000 or whatever, it's still an extra 50,000. Even if it's only 100,000, it's still an extra 10,000. When you look at the gift that will just keep on giving for the rest of your lives, those numbers just become insane as to what they're giving away. It's unbelievable, unbelievable.
It is, mate.
So yeah, look out for your back offices.
Absolutely. So, guys, if you got any more questions, I'll actually. Whoa. I just made the chat the full screen. All right. So we've got that installment package 1. We've answered about the coins, the stable coin, and all that. We'll roll out during the year, but by the sounds of it, by the end of the first quarter or thereabouts, there'll be a way to sell some if you need to, if you're in a spot. But obviously, we'd rather you earn it than not have to rely on selling it. Let me skim through. We talked about mining. The details about that will come out in the future. What's the next project going to be? All right, I believe that the Shikard and the whole ecosystem wrapped around it will be the next major thing. But mate, there will be lots of little bits and pieces along the way. Neil, you want to say something?
Yeah. I want to say something.
Well, you were like, took it.
Well, if you look at, for me, and this is my own personal opinion, but for us to take the company and what we're doing to the next level, we're at a point now where people need to see us live on an exchange, on the exchanges. So to me, that's the next biggest project. Our project to launch is getting our product on the open market, which is what phase 2 is all about. In simple terms, to look at a slide, it's phase 2 on the open markets with the free exchange, being able to exchange. So that to me is the next high peak point to just launch us into the whole of phase 2. So if you think about, I'm not sure who was in here was in phase 1 phase 1, stage 1 back in March 30th this year. And you know, that whole phase 1, stage 1 went in 36 hours because the discount and what people got at that point was huge. So we had a build up to that. Now we've been told 30 days before when we're actually on to an international exchange somewhere where everyone can see us. We're real. We're on the platform. We're in the game. That is a huge boost of excitement, not only within our people, but with all these people that have been watching us and sitting on the fence. And also, and we're into a stable area where we've got some bigger investors that now will have the confidence to come in and participate in the growth of what we're doing. So to me, getting ourselves live on these exchanges is our next big project rolling out. That's first and foremost. With that is going to come more implementation of how we set ourselves up internationally on the global blockchain exchanges moving forward. So really, really exciting times with that. Anything else that comes in on top of that, to me, is going to be just a big bonus, another big bonus and another big shunt to give more people more confidence, more excitement. Bang. And, if you look at the rollout in the first one, and let's say 10 cents, it could be more, it could be less, it could have been 5 cents. But then the next month, it's going to go up higher. Or the next stage 2, it's going to come in higher than stage 1, stage 3. So at some point, we're going to hit 50 cents. If we're going to reach $2 by the end of the year, then probably at the end of if you go each quarter, so by the end of the first quarter, we could be at 50 cents. But 50 cents times 2 billion is 500 million. 10% of that is 50 million back into the loyalty program. Hello. Hello. You know, it's just going to get the 2020, and Leon Ferreira did it beautifully last night. 2020 vision. We're going into 2020 with 2020 vision.
Brenda wants to share something as well. Yeah, 2020 vision. Brenda.
Oh, I had a question for Neil. Remember how we had phase 1, stage 1, and when our downline purchased their packages, we got a matching bonus? Are they going to have that on phase 2, stage 1?
Yes, I believe so.
Yes.
Pretty sure that came up in the webinar. Andre did have the slide for that and to sort of roll out. If you remember, there was a slide came out in stage 1 that actually rolled out what stage 1 payments would look like at the end of the year. He's got a similar slide for the rollout of stage 2. So that part of the system, I believe, is still in place. And I think the first 2 stages, I think, are 100% matching bonus.
Oh
and
my
then
God.
it decreases, I think, after stage 3, 4, 5, like 80%, 60%, so on. So
That's major.
you know, so the key here, what you've now just discovered, is the added bonuses of helping other people come in. You want to accrue as many crypto units as you can, then help as many other people as you can, because as you help them get in, then you're going to accrue the bonus ones coming through, which are the same value. It's not as if they're a tier 1 and tier 2. They're all the same value.
And look, Neil, we've accumulated a lot of those bonus things because we've got teams, right?
Yeah.
And they add up, guys.
From what I've spent and what I've purchased in my own CRU, I've gained 3 times that value in bonus accruals.
Yep, same,
right?
If not more.
So now understand the power of your structure, the value of your structure, the value so that's not only, you know, to me, the CRUs are the most valuable part of that. There's another little bonus that comes in with that called bonus units, which can change your life today, now. And when we're live right now, man, you're going to have, I truly believe there will come a time when people are ringing you wanting to get involved with this. If you think about, and in the States, and you've got, I'm not sure how your retirement plan works, your 401 packs or whatever they're called, but you know, you look at what the pension is. You know, people are going to be able to get a better income from our portfolio than what the probably government will be able to provide. Now, strike that off. I'm not saying that's the case. It's just my opinion on that. But that, you know, I know what it's like down here in New Zealand.
Governments don't care about people, mate. They care about the next vote and how they can get their own retirement plans done.
The beauty of this, and I'm going to just share quickly a little bit about how I've been able to help my family. I've got my mother, who's she's 76 years of age. She's retired, and my mother-in-law. You know, we flick them an extra $300 a week out of my structure. This is the power of being able to help family members, because what they get in their pensions doesn't cut it. The pension's not set up for you to live a lavish life. It's set up so you can just survive, and most people can't even survive on that. You know, my mother, I'm gonna stop her with the 300 probably in the next 6 to 12 months, because she's not going to need it. I've been able to set her up with her own portfolio as well. So this is what we have. This is what we have our hands on. There's nothing else like it. Nothing.
Awesome.
All right. Now, Willie, the recording of this will go on my YouTube channel. So just search Andrew Twelftree, YouTube, something.
I got a quick question.
Yeah. Far away.
What is the difference between the CRU and the TNG? Can you explain that?
I can. Right, you've got our first project was the Skyway project, okay? We can say that because it's not public. All right. that is the TNG tab. So in that is the equity ownership of the Skyway technology that we did for the first 5 years. The CRU tab is our second project, which is the Cryptounit program. They are two separate projects, hence two separate tabs in the back office. Okay, so everything is involved in the Cryptounit program at the moment. Go by the tokens because the portfolio in the Cryptounit program owns just shy of 2 billion Skyway equity shares. Now, when they float, sometime 6 to 12, 18 months in that region, it's touted they'll start at $1. Right? Neil will think, look at Neil's face. Is it going to go more than $1? Okay.
Hang on.
Right. Just hypothetically speaking, if it floats at $1, when it does, it's likely going to be higher, but our portfolio will go up $2 billion in value, like that.
Let's bring that into perspective a little bit. But to answer your question, TNG stands for Transnet Group. When you actually look at the company structure, Transnet Group sort of is one of the key components of it, which is where we're at. You'll also see in your tab there API, and that's Academy of Private Investors. That's our education platform, and that's really where this whole thing all started, is with with Andre's education platform. And so what we're seeing is offshoots of that coming through. So if you look at collectively between all of us, we've raised, if you look at the ownership of our global portfolio for the transport system, that's, and I won't use 2 billion. I don't think it's quite 2 billion.
It's just shy.
Andre uses around 1.6 or just over 1.6. So we went back down to there. And then you look at, it's a $500 trillion market that we're entering into, the transport market. And we're not actually targeting 100% of that market. They're only targeting 50% of that market. So there's still plenty of room for other products to come out there and for us to interact, or for them to interact with, and we'll do that. But if you look at $1 that he wanted to launch at, gives his company a $400 billion value. Now, we own, our portfolio owns 1.6 billion, around thereabouts. But collectively between our portfolio and our own individual portfolios that we've purchased, we probably own about 10% of that company. So sort of think about I guess as that company starts building and completing rail systems, its value is going to increase. So our assets going to increase, our individual one, as well as our company, our global portfolio. And then as the royalty payments come in off the usage of those rail systems, and that's going to create more liquid coming into our global portfolio, which is going to increase our profit bonus payments every month. So that in the future is only going to get bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. Now, let's compare that now to basalt. So basalt, when you understand it, is a 3,000 to 5,000 trillion dollar industry or market. Let me say that again. A 3,000 to 5,000 trillion dollar industry.
That's now 15 zeros, guys.
The company that, so let's go back here now. We probably invested in excess of 150 million to get 10% of Skyway. Now we talk about basalt and its new technology, bring it to fruition. You understand like just the real simple basics of basalt. Basalt is a rare earth material that they can mine, and they can actually start manufacturing it. They can. It's stronger than carbon fiber. It's lighter and it's cheaper. So if you look at all the concrete construction around the world alone, all concrete construction needs reinforcing. Now, the beauty of basalt is it doesn't rust. It doesn't rust. And when we've finished using it, we can melt it down and reuse it again. So it fits in really well with our model of bringing environmentally friendly products to fruition. So our company that we are 50% co-owner of, I heard that we're probably, it's cost us about $2.5 million to get that 50% ownership. So that company believes that they can quite comfortably target 26% of the basalt market. Now let's bring some of those numbers down a bit. Let's get it back down into the real world. So if the initial market is only 1,000 trillion, and then our company is targeting 26% of that. That means 26% of 1,000 trillion is 260 trillion. Now we own 50% of that. So 50% of 260 trillion is 130 trillion, right? Now, remember our market, our capitalization of our portfolio in the next 4 to 8 years is only 100 trillion. If it's sold alone, it's 130 trillion. 100. So on 100 trillion capitalization, each crypto unit will have a value of $1,250 each. Now here we have the basalt, and as we work through that market, we're starting here, and as we get more and more and more and more, we see that gradual increase. 130 trillion divided by 80 billion crypto units works out to something like $1,475 each. It's over $200 more just on one more product.
Can we just do that with gold mines as well?
We just
add the two together. 3,000.
We haven't talked about the transport. We haven't talked about the movie industry. We haven't talked about our sushi master. You know, there's just, we're just getting started, folks. We're just getting started.
Yep.
You know, 2020 vision. Who here's got 2020 vision right now?
Mate, the days of you scrounging around on the couch looking for a couple of bucks to buy a cup of coffee, I'll tell you, are going to be over this year and some. All right?
We are the early adopters, you know, and, you know, here we are 5 years old. If you look at it as a company and you form a new company, most companies have failed within the first 5 years. Over 90% of companies have failed within their first 5 years. Here we are, we're flying through this. The growth of our company is going like this right now. It's not teetering and starting to go down. We're going up. We're continuing to go up. So we're in the next sort of hardest part of our phases in the next 3 years. And with what I guess, Andre is a genius. You know, if you look at the stuff that he's got lined up in our portfolio, the education that he has so that we can actually make ourselves more official with all our offices around the world and actually sit there and legally give out financial advice. Right now we can't do that because nobody's qualified, which is why we sell our education packages. If you look at the plan and the rollout plan for this isn't a 5 to 10 year game plan. This is a 300-year game plan, folks. 300 years. It encapsulates all our future generations still to come. It's so exciting.
Amazing,
if you look, I'm not sure if you can see my hand on my screen. You can see my screen. I've got it down here in the bottom left-hand corner. You know, we're just getting started. But I mean, here's our growth here, going right up to the opposite diagonal corner. This is our growth. This is where we're going. We're not going backwards.
It's actually start on the other corner, Neil. Start on the other corner and go that way. It's up, that way.
That's
going up and up and up and up and up. That's where we're heading.
Might go like that. But it's you know, we will have, you know, and expect to have some hiccups along the way. I mean, we are paving a new path. No other organization has done this before. Nobody. Which is why we need to be mindful when we create the blockchains that all our T's are crossed and all our I's are dotted. We need to make sure that this is secure, not only for the global portfolio, but for us each as individuals. We need it. Andre's thinking of everybody along this journey as we go. And the more people that we have on here, the quicker this thing's going to happen. So just imagine 5 million people. How many of those are going to be in your structure later on this year? Massive. And just changing because of it. And then those 5 million, that's going to turn into 20 million. What's 20 million going to turn into? 100 million. What's 100 million going to turn into? 500 million. They're all, once this thing starts, it ain't stopping. It's not stopping.
So get your market share ASAP.
That's 2020 vision.
Well, Neil, what size was your team when you started?
My what, sorry?
What size was your team when you very first started? Mine started at 0. I reckon
we all
yours might have
started.
too. Yeah, so it can be done. And look at Neil. All right, if he can do it. No, I'm taking a mickey. But
you're quite right, though. I mean, if I can do it, anybody can do it.
Mate, well, mate, you started in your car. I started in the construction yard. I mean, there's so many other people that started where they are not now, and they've grown as a leader through time, through the training, through rubbing shoulders with those that you're working with. You don't start out as an expert. You start out as someone who's hungry for change. That's where we were.
Most people, and it's sad, but most people don't change until they get to a real serious crisis point. Now, if we talk about health, it's cancer, and it's generally too late. You can't go back then. For me, my crisis point was rock bottom. And it's just like my journey's because I see the world that my kids are growing up in. It's for them to have a house of their own, they're up for at least $1 million. And that's a shitter. That's not a good, that's not a nice house. So trying to be that leader, that person from leading my family and creating the lifestyle that I want for them, not the one that's been created out of our education system, out of our current society, which to me is gradually going backwards. It's dumbing everybody down. I don't want that for my kids. I don't want that for my grandchildren. And I'm really happy to be here and comfortably put my hand on my heart that I've found that what I've been looking for the last 30 years. Yeah, it took me a while, but I found it. It took me a lot of failures, but I found it. And sharing that with as many people as possible. That's what this is about. It's there for everybody.
Do you want to hear something funny, Neil? You've been rattling on for 2 hours nearly. Again,
really?
Yeah, it's nearly 12:30. We started at 10:30. So, guys, we've been on for a couple of hours. Is there anyone on the call that wants to come out and ask a question or share? Or, Brenda, do you want to come out and say a couple of words? Obviously, many of these people are here because you invited them. Alicia?
I'm just hoping that everybody is taking notes and really letting this sink in, because like Neil said, he's found it, I found it. I hope all of you guys can say you found a home here. And I mean, this is just massive. I'm having texts on my phone saying people might be alone right now. So I hope you guys are really taking this in, and like say, get all your family members, give them a gift. You don't need their ID right now to get them in, because a lot of people are hesitant in giving their ID. Just get their name, username, phone number, Gmail, and give them a gift of $200. They're gonna thank you later.
Absolutely.
That's all I have to say.
Yeah, one of Andre's slides at the end of his webinar on the 28th, and the center of the slide had faith, the word faith, and then there was 4 other boxes that came off that, and I can't remember all of the boxes. I'm not sure. I think I might have had the slide there somewhere, but I'm not going to go and try and find it now. But when you have that gut feeling, that faith, that company that you're involved with, the product and the whole system, you have ultimate faith with that, and that it's changing your life for the better and anybody around you. When you have that internal faith, then that exudes from you when you're sharing that with other people. When you have the faith of what this is all about, there's no stopping you. No stopping you whatsoever.
The only thing you need to do then, Neil, is the last one was faith in yourself. That you can build. Once you know the company, where it's going, is you've got faith in that. You need to build faith in yourself, belief, conviction, all right? Posture, we talk about quite often, guys. that as that grows, like Neil said, it exudes out of you and it attracts people towards you. Right? It really does. People will be seeking you out.
Yeah. Here's the thing with, you know, we are in a multi-level marketing business. You know, we're multi-level crowd investing. So multi-level marketing, in most other multi-level marketing platforms, you're not co-owner of that company. You're just a worker on the outside, and you got to work hard to create an income off your sales. But with our company, multi-level crowd investing, you're actually co-owner of it. You're on the inside. You get to share in the profits of what we do. But regardless of that, we are still kind of come with that stigma of sort of multi-level marketing. Now, when you look at, where was I going with that? But with the multi-level marketing and what we're doing, we're changing the world. There's so many millionaires that have been produced, and there's a lot of females on these in here. I can see mostly the bigger majority there are female multi-millionaires through the multi-level marketing system. So I actually did have a different tech there, but I lost it. That might come back a little bit.
It'll come back to you, mate. Alicia, do you want to come out and say anything? Come on.
WC Happy. You want to say something?
Oh, yeah. We call him World Class Happy, but it's Chappy. World Class Happy Chappy.
Yes. Good night, Andrew. Good night, Nee. Good night, everyone. I had a concern. I teach the sciences, and I know all volcanic islands, so they have basalt. Is there anything that can be done to have governments process it or get involved with it?
Government?
Governments,
We don't want governments involved. They screw things up.
So could individuals go and mine the basalt, collect the basalt, and ship it to wherever it's being processed?
I'm sure there'll be.
If you look at, you'll be able to see regions around the world. But I mean, if you had your own basalt mining contract, I'm sure that if you had that, we would probably be more inclined to actually build a basalt factory at that point, as opposed to shipping it somewhere. So currently, I believe they're in negotiation, or they're finalising negotiation, I think in Poland, or a basalt mining and manufacturing company. So my understanding with the basalt at the moment is to just get the basic manufacturing up and going, so that they can create some product to present at the Expo in Dubai 2020, which is this year in October. So, and I also believe that they are in negotiation with some car manufacturing companies. You think about when you create the basalt into a fiber, you can literally make, you know, car doors and car components and anything out of it. So
they're talking with BMW and Boeing for the airplanes. Boeing 747 or whatever, that A380 or whatever they are. They're negotiating with them already.
This is my dream, and I really would like to get involved in it.
And I'm sure we'll find you a way to get involved with it, Happy. Hey.
Thank you.
So,
Happy, here's the thing. If you have a dream and you want to get involved with it, write that dream down.
I have already written it down.
Yeah, we'll make it happen, bro.
You've made the first step in that direction. If you know as much as you know about it, and you have the contacts in there, and as we move forwards with this, if you've written that down, write it down to the point where you can taste it, you can actually feel it with that intricacy. And
well, I work with it. I handle it in a classroom. I show my students what it is all about. We study rocks in geology.
Wow. Does it have other benefits other than the construction industry? If you know,
yes, it has. They use it to make the cell phone, the skins, the cases. They can make the covers for a lot of things. You know, it is so strong. Whatever steel can do, it can do, but it's far more endurable than steel. Yep. So wherever steel is used, basalt can be used.
garden furniture, space technology, you name it. There's all sorts of stuff. 3D
That's right.
printing as well. They can make the components from 3D printing.
I don't want to scare anybody off here. Has anybody been down the rabbit hole and heard about what's going on down at the South Pole?
No.
If you go down the rabbit hole, and this it came to me not long after I discovered basalt. But there are three. There's more than three, I think, massive caverns, like 3 miles below the ice down the pole there, and these caverns are made. And this is what tickled me pink, because these structures are beyond belief. The size of them and the height of them, just this sort of is beyond belief. And knowing that there's 3 miles of ice above them, that it shouldn't be able to support it. But these caverns are made out of basalt. That was the bit woo-woo stuff if you haven't been down there, but it's like, I went down there and like, yeah, that was just one of those confirmation ticks. Yeah, it's a good product.
Wow. So yeah, there's a lot of rabbit holes that you can go down in this world, I tell you. Look about the banking system and all that. Now, Dan, did you want to say something before we start trying to wind up?
Yeah, I do. Great program tonight. I'm glad I came on. Thank you. I wanted to find out if you register, you need to fund by December 31st to gather the 8.2 prices, correct?
Yes. No, that actually been extended to 5th, I think, of January.
No, the 8th.
8th is it? It's gone to the 8th of January. There you go.
Yeah.
Oh, for today's prices. Okay.
Yep.
Thank you so much.
But,
Yeah, that was,
just to clarify that, so we were going to go on the 31st, but then over in the Eastern Bloc over there, they don't actually celebrate Christmas till the 7th of January. So they've just put the whole stage change to the 8th of January. So that's how that's come about.
Okay.
That's good.
So then does the 10% bonus catch those extra 8 days as well? I expect it would.
I'm not 100% sure on that, because that was generally for the year.
Okay.
So
if you can buy them before the 31st, if you can.
Yeah, I would sort of, and then if it's still available after that, then that's a bonus.
Yep.
And on the 8th, sorry.
One last thing. The webinar that was just done on the 28th, it's available on YouTube right now, correct? Or on...
Yes, it'll be on the Skyway channel somewhere. Not the Skyway.
Okay.
The New Economic Evolution of the World channel. The Swig channel, whatever you call it.
My recommendation there, it's long. I mean, it started at 1 a.m. New Zealand time and it finished at 7 a.m. in the morning here. I sat on that. I think I did doze off a few times throughout it. But the real, in no disrespect to all the other presidents on the council there that came in and spoke, but the real information that you want to come is out of Andre, where we basically, he breaks down, you'll hear it straight from the horse's mouth, I guess, what we've been sort of overviewing here today. And that generally starts from around the sort of 3 to 3.5 hour mark, which sort of cuts down your viewing time by half. Yeah. Certainly well worth it, because, you know, I could listen to Andre all day long. It's just, I don't understand a word he's saying, but I just love his voice. No.
Because he's a money magnet, mate. It rubs off.
Magnet. And everything that he has touched, you know, he's been in the multi-level marketing industries. He's taken them up, and even with his property transactions, and even though he's lost along the way, you know, and been bankrupt a couple of times, which I think has been a necessary part of his journey to help him understand where we're going. But yeah, he's a money magnet. And in the webinar, as part of the webinar, there's a link to his money magnet. He's created a video for it. If you listen to that now, it's in Russian. You know, there might be an English version, but as he said, that the Russian version, it's infused with his money magnet energy. So if it doesn't listen to it, it's really nice and soothing to listen to, but it's just as effective listening to it, even though you don't understand it. But to become you imagine our organization and all of us being our own individual money magnets, just how fast this thing's going to just grow. Massive. So just simple things like that.
It's funny that you can grab a piece of steel and turn it into a magnet. You associate yourself with Andre and his inner circle, and it's like you're being magnetized to become your own money magnet, all right? So on that, guys, come to these meetings. When there's a function or a webinar, be on it, all right? If you haven't got someone to be on it with you, the meeting's for you.
I just remembered what I was on about before, the MLM.
Yep.
You know, MLM, because it has that stigma, the media has given it that stigma, we don't talk to our friends and all that sort of stuff. And so when we go out there, we're out, you could call it the battlefield, or we could call it the field of negativity, or the field of the sort of the sheep with the heads in the sand. But it's like, I've grown my business and simply from attending every event. Every event, when I go to an event, people that are watching me, so there's a lot of people that know me and just sitting on the fence, but whenever I go to an event, I'm showing those people that I'm serious. I let them know that I'm there, and it just gives it more validity on what I'm doing. Not only on that, but the information you get to meet Andre, you get to hear Andre, you get to meet everybody like-minded in this organization, and most of us are. It's nothing better than coming into a room where we're all openly, we can talk about money and where we're going and what we're doing in the future of this, which is really exciting. And it really energizes us moving forwards. It gives us credibility in what we're doing. It gives us the energy, and it also gets us first-hand information straight from Andre as to the next steps that are rolling out. Andrew Hawkes did a classic video, one of the original ones nearly 2 years ago now, where he went to a presentation in Malaysia from the Gold Coast in Australia. It cost him over $500, it might have been even more than that, $500 or $600 in airfares and accommodation. He went there for the presentation. He went there, stayed one night, and then he flew back. And he did a livey when he was there to show what he was there. By the time he got home, the money that he had spent to go there was already in his back office. He had already got it back. It's like...
The funny thing, Neil, that same function in Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia, is where we met in person for the first time, and that's where I woke up.
Yeah. Oh, well, I mean, so when Andrew says he woke up, he got the faith in the company. He went there looking for something, and it was that faith. It was like, I'm in the right place. These are the right people. I'm into this thing 100%.
Absolutely.
And look at Andrew now. What was your rank then in February? What was it?
I think I was a manager at the time, and nowhere near leader manager. Like, I had 2, maybe 3 legs if I was lucky. Right, and from there just went boom. It's funny though, when we talk about this thing, guys, writing things down with your magic pen. I was a manager when I wrote on the whiteboard next to me here, I want to be a leader manager by the end of June. Right? That was before the express qualification announcement. I was nowhere near leader manager. Because I wrote that down, the universe said, all right, we're going to give Andrew a win. Here's the thing. And we went from bang to leader manager to all the way. Right? And so many other people did. But I believe if I didn't write it down, it wouldn't have happened.
Yeah.
It's uncanny. A week later, it happened.
If you, it's about making a decision internally and owning it. I'm going to do this. And you don't have to have a pathway set out and how it's going to happen. You just have to have that internal belief. I'm going to do it. And then just start. You know, you can write, so here's an exercise for you now. All take your pen and write down how much money you want to earn in the year 2020. Just take your pen and write it down, how much you want to earn. If you think about the conversations that we've had today, you can maybe use that to inspire maybe a slightly bigger amount, but just write that down. Okay? Now, are you ready for the next part of this? Cross that number out and double it. Oh, boom. Now, you've just set an intention into play. You've just done that. Now, I don't know what it was. I'm hoping that all of you were thinking big, but even if you don't reach that target, and even if you only reach a quarter of it, it's still going to be worthwhile, isn't it?
Oh, yeah. Absolutely.
It's massive. The power of writing stuff down. Blows
All right,
my
guys.
mind.
What we might do, we've been on for a good 2 hours and more now. I hope that everyone has got what they come here looking for, all right, which is belief in the company, because there's been people sitting there waiting for proof that this is the real deal. We just got it, all right? It's going to be in place and visible for the public to see January, by the looks of it. So, guys, I suggest to...
before you leave, what is the official name of our company?
New Group of Companies.
Okay.
So
TNG New
is the official name, and I probably need to finish off what I started saying before. So Andre came on and he said, you know, he doesn't want us using new. That new is something that we only want to use for our regular annual gathering, which is in October, our birthday, for that there. So what it does is when you are promoting yourself, you can use like come and learn the 8 rules of a private investor, come and play the genius of finance, learn how to become a professional investor without learning it the hard way. There's so many different aspects that you can connect with people through a presentation or a webinar or a message or something like that. I think that you could briefly go over during a slide presentation what the new economic evolution of the world is, but you wouldn't actually advertise it as that. He wants to keep that name sacred, and I guess with all these name changes, what's happened is with all these name changes, it's created confusion. It's like, well, what do we call ourselves? So it's an opportunity for us to actually expand ourselves around what our mechanism is. So our core, if you think about it, our core product is actually our education program. So a master prof and all that. So we can start. There's so many different angles that you can start this with in promoting it. Just depending on so many different angles that I don't know what your angle is and how you talk to people.
Well, guys,
I generally just start.
Oh, sorry, I thought you'd finished in there. Keep going.
I just start simply by, I get I'm confined to my bed at the moment, so my connection to the rest of the world is through you guys. But if I'm out and about, it just starts simply by saying hello. You know, hello with a smile on your face, especially on a Monday. You go on a Monday, you go, hi, how's it going? I go, what's wrong with you?
They want to punch you in the face because they're heading to work. Yeah. So, on that, guys, if someone says look, I say Transnet Group or a new group of companies, and more specifically the Crypto Unit program. It's no, but I don't go splatting all over social media. This is new economic evolution of the world. I say if you're looking for an escape to get out of the system, or you want to learn how to invest or up your finances, use the curiosity approach. You don't have to splat a name. You are the brand, right? You are the person that can lead your prospect to freedom and choices, the promised land. And unless they can see you as that kind of person, they ain't joining you. All right? If you haven't had a conversation with someone, they're not going to automatically join through your link. they'll find someone who can lead them to the promised land. So be that person. Does that make sense?
I'm at a point now where people sort of start to ring me because they're just fed up of watching me travel all around the world. What are you doing? And I had an elderly lady halfway through last year, and she rang up 2 years prior to that. Her husband had been trying to get me into Jeunesse, and we started the new our new projects at the same time. He did Jeunesse 2 years hard out, and it just didn't get anywhere. He got a little bit of traction, excitement in the beginning, but then it's the same old, it's almost like the other sort of rat race for him, where you're just constantly doing presentations, trying to encourage people to buy product. And she saw me traveling all the way around the world. It's like two start points, but mine was completely different to his. So she rang, we had a conversation, and like, he's 72 years of age. And, he's still having to work because the pension doesn't cut it for him. And it's like, to me, that should be illegal. It should be illegal by any government to have anybody, still needing to work and pay for themselves after the age of 65. I guess it's different in different countries, but he's now come on lock, stock and barrel. I've just moved into a new place, and I've got the ability to probably have a presentation here at home, and he wants to start doing presentations. He's sort of been waiting to get the presentation right. And I was like, don't wait, just get out there and start doing it. But he's going to come here, and I'm going to, with my crutches, I'll sit in the back and be there to help him start his journey at 72 years of age. It's like, he's ready to go. He's finally excited about finding something that's going to give him what he's been looking for. It's there. So exciting times. I know.
It's funny. Just one quick story before we wind up, guys. Oh, hang on. I've got someone, Ron Palmer, who's teamed up with Gail Potkin. He's 75 years old. They went from 0 in March to vice president now. Right, and he's 75. So, and mate, powerhouse team. So, guys, on that, we've been on for.
One more.
Yeah.
I was in Canada last year, and there's a special man there in Canada. I believe, our oldest investor. He does, and he is very well. He's seen a lot in his life. He's 98 years of age, and seeing the vision and what we're doing has given him a whole new lease of life. He's got all his faculties. He's all there. He's actually an acclaimed film maker. He's spent time with the royal family. He's done it all at 98 years of age. He's seen everything. And to have him get a new lease of life on what we're doing, just speaks volumes. I just want to get it. It is.
Now, I think Brenda was going to say something quick before we finished up too.
Yeah, I just need to get this clear. So we have until the 31st of this month to purchase CRU to get the 10%, right, for the new year. Right?
Yep.
And we have until January the 8th to sign up new people for the 200 free tokens. Is that correct, or the 15th?
I think they said the 15th, to be honest.
Yeah,
get 200 crew.
I think once the site goes live, I think a lot of the like the payment process and all that sort of stuff stops. You won't be able to purchase EIP packages after it's live, if that makes sense.
I think you skipped ahead a bit there, Neil. Mila said that the 200 free crew goes until the 15th of January. Right?
Oh, okay.
You've got until the 8th of January to lock in the discounts that we get today in stage 8.2. You've got until tomorrow night to get the like the 31st midnight in Moscow to get the additional 10% on anything purchased in 2019. Does that make it clear?
Okay, so on the 8th of, we have until the 8th of January to actually purchase installment packages to lock in. Is that what you're
Yep.
saying?
Yes.
Okay,
Start an installment. I would suggest
So-
everyone start installment packages like now
Yes.
through to the 8th of January to
so-
lock in the discount.
And so are we starting phase 2 on the 8th of January?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. So if we're starting phase 2 on the 8th of January, okay, so that's the last day.
At this stage, it will look similar, Brenda, but again,
Got it.
the discounts will reduce. There'll be between 5 and 15 cents instead of 3 to 9 cents. All right, it's on that schedule that came out.
So
Well, we saw
phase
it
8
last
on the 8th of January, and also the 8th of January is that's the we can actually lock in the. Okay, I got it. Thank you.
All right, one quick question. Mazalin has asked, what's the quickest way to get payment to the company for EIPs? Bitcoin,
Or Ethereum.
cryptocurrency, or Ethereum. They do not argue. They just process your payment. Okay? And you don't have to wait. You have to wait, what, half an hour, if that. All right, for it to confirm. All right, guys. How many confirmations? Was it 6?
Either 3 or 6. I think the 6 might have been Cash, which we don't have at the moment. So
All right.
Could be 3.
Just when you do a Bitcoin one, make sure that you send the exact amount and the fee is on top, because if it sends the exact amount, it's automated. If you somehow accidentally have the fee taken off and it's not the exact amount, it's got to be manually found and credited. So make sure that's the case. Bitcoin comes through in less than half an hour, all right? So do that.
Hey, Neil, it's Andre.
Andrew, yes.
I need to ask is his name Neil, the vice president?
Neil, yes, Neil Morrison.
Neil, I need to ask you a question.
Go for it.
You stated that, I want to make sure I'm clear. You stated that we cannot advertise NEEW. Okay, now this way I advertise, I'm see if I'm correct. I want to do the right thing. The videos that on YouTube and the people for explaining the program, I send that out. Am I doing wrong because it's on YouTube?
Which one is it? I guess Andre came out and did a quick. I'm not sure if it was a Zoom or it was a recording, and it was correct me if I'm wrong. It's probably about 2 weeks ago, and I guess it was a plea to stop using the new economic evolution of the world. So we did go through a phase of probably over a month where we were just full on using the new and advertising it everywhere in conferences and webinars and all sorts. So depends on what you're sharing, whether that was created before Andre's plea or after. So if it's after, I'd like to think that it's aligns with his wishes or not. But if you can find that webinar that he did, I think it goes for about 20 minutes. And he goes through that whole process of explaining why he doesn't want to see it. So it's not that we're not walking away from it. It is, we are following through with the new economic evolution of the world. It's just not overusing the name. We want to keep it exclusive for our 1-year birthday celebration, which is in October. And he did give plenty of examples on how to reuse that or rebrand ourselves when we're promoting what it is that we want to do.
On that, I think, Neil, we've got 3 main videos we use, guys. All right, they haven't got new economic evolution of the world in their titles and all that, but within the videos, they do mention it, which is fine. All right, so the 8-minute video, the 15-minute video from Leon, and my 27-minute video, fine to use. We mention it, but it's not a major part of it. All right, and it's not splattered all over the titles and that. It's not like it is our mission, new economic evolution of the world, and within those videos it's mentioned, but it's not splattered all over the the titles and all the thumbnails or anything like that. So those 3 videos are fine to use, guys, for all of those on the.
Could you put those 3 in the chat?
Yeah.
Cause I know the one that I've been using. It's on YouTube, and it's really great advertising. It really is. But it's not saying new. It's not saying new in there a lot. No, it's not. But
it might mention it once.
So are you saying you taking all those down on YouTube? That's what I want to know.
No, if it's up there, it's fine.
I think if it's got the title and it's new.
Queenie?
Yes.
Is that the video I sent you that you're using?
No, I went on YouTube. It's a man. He explained it. The program, and most time I send that one out. But I don't know because I'm confused because it's on YouTube.
Yeah, these ones will be fine. All right, I'm going to put it in. Here's the 8-minute video.
She has that one.
Right, so for everyone else here as well, I'm going to pop them in. This is the 8-minute video that I use when I send out. I also use, depending on who I'm sending it to, Leon's 15-minute video, which is this one.
Yeah.
Right. It does mention new economic evolution of the world in it, but it's not splattered all over it. And the other one is the 27-minute video that we've done, that I've done, hang on, which is this one.
Queenie, those are all the videos that I sent you. It's the same one he's putting up there. So that's fine. You can use those.
These are the 3 videos we use, and they're fine. Okay. So just use them, guys, and don't be too worried about it. Right, but don't go splatting all over social media. The new economic evolution of the world. Use some curiosity, guys. All right, use some curiosity. You don't have to brand the name of a new economic evolution of the world. Brand you. Brand financial freedom, a way out, a choice, a way to supplement your income. You can do all that kind of stuff without mentioning the name. I think that's what Andre's getting at.
Yeah.
Right? Would that be fair to say, Neil? Just nod before we start talking. Yeah. All right, we've been on for 2.5 hours, as we did last night, and we've still got a heap of people on, and it's getting late, I know. So guys, I will put the recording of this up on my channel. Go to any of those videos there, go to the channel and you'll find it. Great call. We've got what we've been looking for, all right? We've been looking for proof and justification. It's coming. We'll have balance sheets you can stuff in people's faces to say, there. Call it a scam now, you bum, All right, that's what we've been waiting for, and that's what we've just got. So let's get to work, guys, because what we do now will impact your family for generations. All right, for those who are not taking up the 20 in 30 training, which we are giving access to you for free, oh my God, wake up and message your leader and get in on that group. Because you run at that, here it is, I'm proclaiming to the world right now. They're on the wall, ready to start filling out, 20 spots. And as I do that, I want to help those people get their first 2. That's my proclamation to the world right there. Come and do it with me. You'll change your life. You'll turn from broke to a 6-figure earner. Do it more than once and you'll start going up to the multiple 6-figure earners and 7-figure earners. All right, so we are running at that in January, big time. Run with us and change your life, guys. So if you aren't in that group yet, reach out to your upline. Brenda, Alicia, myself, if you're in Australia, Alex, whoever, just reach out to us and we'll get you in that group so you can get access to the training from Eric Worre without having to pay any money, okay, for free. Shh. All right, and then you can run with us and change your situation big time. So on that, guys, before it hits 2.5 hours officially, we're going to call it, and I'd like to really thank Neil for spending his time to come on our call and help us understand where this is going. And I'd like, unmute everyone, give Neil a big round of applause. Hang on.
Thank you,
A
Neil.
round of applause.
Thank you.
Thanks,
Thank
Neil.
you.
We might
Thank you.
Yeah.
we might have to second to Neil to do a presentation for us one night, maybe, if you're lucky. All right. So on that, guys, who's pumped up and excited? Absolutely. So, guys,
Thank you.
have an awesome day, and I'll catch you on the next meeting. Check the calendar. Cheers, guys.
Good night.
Yes,
Bye.
Bobby.